So my New Year's resolution for 2020 was to watch 100 new movies coming out in this calendar year, brand new releases. So I have to watch at least 2 movies every single week. And this is the first weekend release, and that is The Grudge, which is the second remake of the Japanese original horror film Ju-on The Grudge. And I have never seen a single one of these before, and I went into this new one, and it was really boring. It's a January horror movie. But the thing is, I came home right after that and I watched the original Ju-on The Grudge movie, and I loved it. It was so good. I thought it was very atmospheric. I thought the sound design and everything about it was just so just unsettling and so creepy, and the way that they tell the story and the way that it follows all these different characters. But it's not really about these characters. It's about the story and this curse and how it affects everybody around it. And that was the joy of this, or joy, that was the terror of this original horror movie. And it made me realize, just 10 minutes into this original movie, it made me realize how this new remake completely misunderstood what the original movie really stood for. So the original movie opens up, along with this new movie, opens up with this title sequence that says, whenever there's an act of violence, that kind of sparks this curse, and this curse is brought on to anybody else who goes into that last place where these people were alive. The curse then moves on to them, and it creates a new curse. And it's pretty much an unraveling thing that spreads really fast to all these people, and it gets everywhere really fast, and it's really rapid, and it's a very fascinating story, because the original movie goes through a lot of different characters, a lot of people go through it, and a lot of people die because of it. And the movie is set up where this social worker goes up, her name is Rika, she goes up into this house, and right before she even enters the main entryway, she stops and she feels this presence, or maybe not a presence, she feels that something is off about this place, and that she feels that there's a curse, that this place is dangerous, that this place isn't welcoming, and that she shouldn't go in there. But obviously she does, and she sees the place is a wreck, and she goes and explores, and then she finds this old woman who's kind of catatonic, and she starts to clean everything up, and she sees this little kid, and it's kind of setting up the mystery of what happened here, and why are things like this. And that is a mystery that's set up in this original movie. And this new movie, basically what happens, it kind of has a similar setup, but this time it's a detective going to this house, or kind of looking through these old cases. They find a body that kind of has a connection to some deaths that happened years before, and she goes back to the house, and it's a mess. She finds an old woman, but the mystery that's presented in this one is not what happened, because we all know what happened. She goes through the files and says, okay, this person died, this person died, this person died, and then we start to see those events happen, right? So it takes all the intrigue and mystery out of what happened, because we all know how that situation is what outcome it's going to have. You never are really interested in that. And the movie asks, why is this happening? But the answer that they give really is, well, it doesn't really give an answer. It doesn't give an answer of why this curse is a thing. But it answers that question by saying, oh, it's just the curse. So the characters in the movie itself are trying to figure out this mystery that was answered in the opening title sequence of the movie. So there's never really any intrigue. The mystery is just kind of nothing. There's nothing for you to really attach yourself to, because it's asking a question that's really redundant. And that's what I think this movie really misunderstands about the original movie, because all these characters, you're not really supposed to attach yourself, except for Rika. Rika is really the only character in the original movie that is kind of a through line from the beginning all the way to the end, because she pops up and she has something to do with almost every single character that you follow, and it has different little title cards to different chapters throughout the movie that I think is really interesting. And you're not really saying, okay, these characters, why am I rooting for them? What am I trying to say? Like, okay, what's going to happen with them? The more you're really kind of wondering, how is this curse going to affect all these people, and what's going to happen, what has happened, and how is it going to go down? That is the intrigue of this first movie that just got me so unsettled, and I think that's what works so well about it. And that's what this new movie completely abandons, because it's asking the exact opposite questions, and it takes away all the tension. This movie is a very, very dull movie. It's, like I said, it's very boring. Nothing really happens. None of the characters are interesting enough for you to care about, except for John Cho, who was in Searching. I love Searching. I think he's a great actor. He's in the Star Trek movies. Obviously, he's famous from Harold and Kumar. And I think because he's John Cho, you kind of attach yourself to him, because I love that actor, and he was the only one that I cared about. Lin Shaye, who's in the Insidious movies, and she's popped up in several horror movies since then, she has the most fun in this movie. I think she has some really creepy scenes. She's that old lady that they find at the beginning of the movie, and she has some great moments in the movie that is kind of kind of unsettling. And I don't want to use that word for this movie at all, because it was very unscary. It was not terrifying at all. When this original movie really got under my skin, this one, like I said, all the tension was taken out of it because the mystery and the intrigue wasn't there. But the problem was that everything that happened in this movie, they cut away from. And it's a rated R movie. This is the first American remake that is rated R. The other two were PG-13. The original movie is rated R. And so it has gory moments. There's one thing with John Cho that I'm glad that they didn't show. I think that's a good move, because at that point it's almost too disturbing to show, and it's the implication that's really terrifying. And that's the stuff that I liked. But they do that with everything. Anytime that you sort of get into a situation, like there's a scene with John Cho with this little girl, and he's taking care of her, similar to in the first movie where that other social worker finds this little boy and she's taking care of him, and you don't really know why, and then you realize what it is. And so something similar happens with John Cho, and that's introduced, and then it cuts directly back to our main storyline with our main actress, who is fine in the movie, but she's honestly one of the worst movie moms I've seen in a while. She's a terrible mother, and you're supposed to care about her because she's a mom, because she has this little kid. But the problem is you only see this kid in 3 different scenes, and you never get to see her be a mom, and you really don't care about her. And it's just, like I said, none of these characters are something to attach to, because this movie presents itself as setting up all these characters that you're supposed to care about. And that is what you're supposed to attach yourself to in this movie, whereas the original, you're supposed to attach yourself to the situation rather than the characters themselves. And I do think this could have worked. This movie does have some good moments. It has, like I said, that there's one suspenseful scene inside a warehouse that's kind of, or inside the research room in the police station, that is kind of effective. It has something to do with the security camera, and it has some good ideas in it. But it's nothing in this movie is ever as scary or as intense or as suspenseful as 100 other horror movies. So that's the problem. It has this one suspenseful scene. It has a couple good moments with John Cho and with Lin Shaye. But besides that, this movie is extremely dull, extremely boring. The intrigue is in the wrong place, and it really does misunderstood what made the original movie so special. With this concept and with this story idea that is so fascinating, that I do think they could do many great things with. It's just the movie failed on the most important thing, and that was honoring the original movie. It has some good homages. After I saw this new movie, it's like, okay, that was an homage to the original, that was an homage to the original, and it's just little beats and moments that feel unearned. So that is my review for The Grudge. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you want to see more reviews going throughout the rest of the year. I'm going to try to be as consistent. I've been consistent on this channel for the past little over a year, because I started in October of 2018 is when I really started being consistent. So thanks guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Comment below what you thought of The Grudge and what you thought of the original movie. I'm really curious to see your thoughts on that movie as well. So thanks guys for watching. I hope to see you all in my next one.